Hi, I'm Angela Hultberg, and I'm here at World Economic Forum in Davos, a very sunny Davos. And I'm joined here today by Koljuan Hilner from Stena Line. Hi, Koljuan. Thank you for joining us. For our viewers that might not know what Stena Line is, could you tell us?
Well, we're part of the Stena Group, which is a family-owned conglomerate within a DNA within transportation, shipping, energy, recycling. But Stena Line as such is one of the world's leading ferry companies, essentially floating bridges. So we connect people, places, and societies, and we enable trade. That's what we do.
Floating bridges, I do love that. So obviously, we're on the We Don't Have Time broadcast, and we're here to talk about sustainability, sustainability in transport, my favorite topic. So can you tell us a bit more then, as a shipping company, how do you work with sustainability?
First and foremost, we try to integrate it into everything that we do. We are really values-driven as a company, and sustainable transportation is at the very heart of what we represent and what we do as a company. Our ownership, being privately owned fully, also enables us to have a very long-term view on life. So we think often in decades, even centuries at times, which allows us to step above and beyond sort of the urgency here and now in some parts, but also focus on what makes a real difference over time. So sustainability-wise, we are really looking into both new technologies, alternative fuels, but not least, what can we do on the efficiency side here and now to make actual progress happen.
And I like that you're saying we have a long-term view, thinking decades and not like next quarter and the Q3 report. But there is a lot of uncertainty, right? And obviously here at Davos, we're talking about geopolitical uncertainties, economical uncertainty. So how do you lead, having that long-term view in a very uncertain world? What does that do to leadership?
Well, there's, in my view, in our view, there is no one silver bullet answer to that. But we try to recognize our part as being infrastructure providers and really take that long-term view to heart and ensure that we act on what we can control. And again, it's the progress that makes it all the way out to the consumers and the markets that makes a difference, and not what we're talking about theoretically, right? So again, fuel efficiency, being innovative, bold to be part of the new technologies is something that we try to combine and bring into fruition.
So how do you then, because I feel like a lot of the discussions we have about sustainability, about green transition and a sustainable economy get sort of stuck in finance, right? Who's going to pay? Is it us? Is it .com? Is it .gov? So how do you invest in sustainable transition, and how do you think around the financing of it?
Well, we have a substantial investment program, and we try to align it again to the nature of our business to the extent that we can. But really deploying what's necessary to future-proof our fleet, to future-proof our organization, to ensure that we, again, allocate funds to the innovations that will make a difference going forward. But again, also finding those new ways of working, taking anything from AI to new technologies really into practice to ensure that we learn from them quickly enough. So capital is really a big part of that puzzle. However, we can't take, and we really try to balance that with other stakeholders around us, then be it other industry players or the whole legislative system. We can't move quicker than the circumstances around us. I think that's the challenge we have as an industry right now, that the reliable supply and the legislative framework around new fuels, for example, is not mature enough for us to act on the technology that we have at our disposal. So that's why it's so important to focus on efficiency as well as part of it.
And that's usually what we say, right? Transition can't happen in isolation, and it's going to take an ecosystem, and transport is reliant on the energy sector and all of that. So what would you like to see then? I mean, you say you can't move faster than your ecosystem allows you to. What would you like to see from other stakeholders? Quite
simply, I think clarity on the rules of the game, on the legislation as we proceed. I think continuity and being, what do we call it, being having a sort of consistent messaging on the rules, and not least when it comes to what technologies will have what legislation going forward. I think that clarity is important, and also then combined with action. focus more on the 2030 and the tangible progress than the 2050 posturing that will not materialize. I think that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, no, completely agree. So being then in very sunny Davos, you can see I'm trying to counter the sun here. What are you hoping to see this week? What messages would you like to see?
Again,
what actions?
I think quite simply, and it's easier said than done, obviously, right? But action behind the words, and really focusing on the short to midterm as opposed to the long term. And again, that sort of ends by discussions and not action. So I think that for me personally, and on behalf of the company that I represent, is what it's all about here: action.
There you go. That's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for tuning in and hoping to deliver more messages of action from Davos. Thank you.